morning. This is Doc from Doc's Beehives, and we're coming to you from another shop that we have here at North House, which has a little bit more tools on it. We have Sweet Jan, who's running the camera, and my sister by another mother and father, by the way, Melanie. So last time we finished off, we had a beehive built, except we did a couple of things in the interim. We painted it white, and I always use white, and don't use a lead paint. Use a couple of coats of a nice latex paint. Put on a light coat to begin with. It'll dry, believe me, in this heat in an hour. You can put on another coat. So I usually put on about 3 coats. So that's the only thing that we've done. We put in a divider, which I'll talk to you about. But this morning we're going to build the roof. So we're going to take off the lid. One of the things that we did last time also was that we drilled holes, if you remember, because we're going to make a little ventilation. And with the holes comes the only thing that you want to do to make sure that you have is a little piece of screen to cover the holes up so nothing can get in and nothing can get out. So just cut this as regular window screen. And I just take it with a little heavy duty stapler. Staple it in. And now our bee buddies are going to be pretty happy. Okay, so now we're going to go to the part that takes a little thought. The first time I did a roof in a beehive, it took me about 60 hours. And probably 8 of those hours how to figure out the roof. So I'm going to show you a nice, easy formula to do this morning. Take your roof. This is the length. This is the width. And measure the width. So now we come up to about 17¼ inches. If you divide the width into half, you're going to come up to about 8. So now you're going to have a perfect 45-degree angle. So we just take a little piece of plywood and we mark it at 17 inches. Okay. Okay. And we mark it up about 8. Pull it out. And then basically we just draw that in. You'll come out to a section like this. And so these are lines that we're going to cut. And I don't think y'all need to see me whack, whack, whack on the saw, so I've already cut some for you. And we'll start off with that. So when you finish cutting, you'll have 3 pieces. You're going to have one for each end and one for the middle. And the middle is the support, because you can put a roof on it and you need some type of little support in the middle. And we're going to start with making the end on the front with the little gable. And I'll tell you why. Because if you make that last, you won't be able to put everything into it that you need to. The easiest way to do this is take a little strip, like we talked about last time. We made 1 million of these. They're 1/4 inch thick and 1/2 inch wide, and put it right underneath the little hole that we have here, and just mark it at the top, the bottom, top, at the bottom. It'll automatically get you the angle to cut. Put it in the chop saw, cut it off, and you got it. So that's what we're going to do first of all.
Well, that's a neat way.
It's an easy way.
Yeah, easy way to mark it.
It's an easy way to mark it, Mel, and you don't have to figure out all these complex angles. So what I did now, we're going to be using the compressor, so every once in a while you can hear, and we'll just turn that off. Also mark the middle of all your little boards. Everything that you mark, if you mark the middle, you'll have it automatically lined up. So I've already marked the middle of this particular one right here, and I marked the middle of this, and let's put this in, and I brought myself Nelly the nail gun, and we'll shoot a couple of them. Now we need to make the little door up here, and it's all a matter of what you're comfortable with and in proportions. And we just made this little door 3 inches by 4 inches. and I took a piece of an old fence board that I had, and I cut it. And then we made little strips the same way. You just put them across like this, and you can mark your little angles, and then I shot them down. And then I've marked the middle of this little door. And we already have the middle of this one marked here, so you just slide them together like this. I'll get my buddy out again. Cannot do without him. Yes, and I do have a little story for y'all this morning. I know, got stories, but... So make the little side pieces. They're going to be about the same size. And you want them to come down to the bottom and come out pretty even. When they come out to the bottom, that way you can put a little strip across the bottom here. So we've got these two little pieces here. All right. So we'll shoot these in. And then we took a piece on the bottom. And our bottom piece will extend from the outside of this one to the outside of this one. And you put it here. And I make them just a tad bit longer. And it just kind of gives a little architectural bump to it. And look at those guys. I know it took a little prep work to put this together, but once you do it, you know, a couple of times, it'll go from a 60-hour to a 40-hour. We usually spend about 30 to 40 hours making this. So we've got our little piece here. The other thing we want to do now is we're going to go ahead and make, see a little piece that comes out that hangs the pulley on it for the farmers to harvest up their hay. We just took a piece of wood and I put it up right in the corner. You want to put it up in the corner, so remember you're going to be putting boards on the outside of this, so you don't want it to go past the corners. And this one's a little long, so Mel is going to cut this one. Pre-drill a little screw on the end of this. And if you pre-drill your little hole, it'll make it a lot easier to do this. So you're going to pre-drill a little hole here. We're going to put it in here. And give me 1 second. All right, so we got a little drill. We got a little screw in. And remember, we had pre-drilled this little piece is coming out up here, which will make it a lot easier to put in for you. Put these together. Now it's nice and snug. So all we have to do now is to hang a little pulley, get a little piece of wire. I use stainless steel wire. You hang it on the end of this, and now, and you get you, there we go. So we got our front piece, and let's put our front piece in first. I have 1-inch nails.
You gonna hold it?
Yeah, would you please? Yeah. So what I'm going to do is take a little break, and I'm going to put in some 1 to 1.5 inch nails. I got some 1.5 inch nails now, so hang it over a little bit on the left, a little bit on the right. There we go. Good. Okay, so let's see, if we wouldn't have done this part, we would have never been able to screw this in. So that's why you want to do this first.
Yeah.
So you take your middle piece, and there's no need to paint your middle piece. And again, I divide it into half. Put it right along the little line now.
Get your way a little bit.
Yeah. There we go. And let's use another piece. And remember, we drilled those holes on the end last time. And again, we covered them with screens so no bugs can get in there. But you still got good ventilation. Right here. I need to back up just a little bit. There we go. I'm feeling insecure, so I'm going to put another nail in. All right.
Well, that went fast.
That went really actually kind of fast. The key is to measure this, divide it by half, draw your lines, and then cut. And once you've got this cut, this is the part that usually takes you a while to do. And then these are cedar boards, and the cedar boards are, as you can see, they're beveled. So the front part's a little bit thinner than the back part. And we're going to put on our cedar boards. Now another little trick that you can use when you're putting on your boards is you want to put your bottom board on first. These are the bells. And you want your boards to hang over about the same on both sides. So what I do is I just take a little piece of scrap, hold it out here, put it in here until it falls right about there. And you want this board, by the way, I'm sorry, when you measure this, you want to measure 4 inches longer. That way you have about a 2-inch overlap mill on one side, you have a 2-inch lap on the other side. So we got this lined up, put a little spacer in.
You want to hold it?
If you feel brave enough, you can hold it.
You still have 10 fingers.
You made it through the first part, you can make it through this. And there we go. So let's take the second one over here. We're going to line that up, again with that little spacer so it's kind of equidistant. I'm going to shoot that little more in. Okay, second trick is to...
And you don't nail there.
I haven't nailed there yet, but I am going to nail there. This is going to be... I'm going to put it in the middle, and I've kind of labeled this. And this is going to be the top. So line your boards up at the top of each one of these little peaks. And again, you want about 2 inches on each end. And shoot them in place. And it's very easy now. All you got to do is take your middle board and you just slide it in.
Underneath, okay.
Underneath, you make it look kind of equal
You
this
can
time.
see that.
And you're going to shoot those in place. So you're going to take a little break right